Good morning. Happy Sunday morning, or whenever you might be watching this. My name is Glenda Miles, and welcome to Sunday Morning Mindful Practice. This is a weekly practice that I offer to everyone, but especially members of the community, to really start to dive into specific themes and practices to help us take care of ourselves, self-care being one of our fundamental core practices, but also other things that can help us move through different seasons, different emotional regulation practices, and lots of other things. When we think about mindfulness, it is cultivating a relationship with the present moment, with whatever is happening in the moment, and allowing ourselves to be there, as unpleasant or pleasant as that may be, without judgment and without trying to change it or even to have thoughts about it. If you are a client of mine, you have probably heard me say something to the effect of, the challenge is not in our emotions, but how we think about our emotions, all of the thinking that we have about, should I feel this way? And is this the right way to be feeling? And all of these things are what create problems, if you will, for ourselves, right? The guilt, the shame, the meta of it all afterwards. If we can learn how to just be with what is happening, we can allow the full experience of things to simply be what they are, the beginning, the middle, the end of that experience, and we move on into the next moment. Just like our breath, every inhale gives way to the exhale, which gives way to the next inhale, and the cycle continues without exception, unless, of course, we intervene in some way to change it. But even still, there needs to be that cycle of giving and receiving, which has very much been a theme in many of the conversations over the last month or two, just kind of recognizing how so much of our life is around this concept of giving and receiving in a time of year when this is very much a theme that is present, and to recognize our own inhale and exhale as an extension of that. So today what I want to talk about is this concept of grounded. In a time when we may be feeling the pressure of this polarized view of things, with increased uncertainty again in the world around us. We're currently December 19th, 2021. So we're 21 months into a global pandemic. And with this new variant, it's kind of creating a bit of tension within many people. People are kind of being closed in again and isolated. And a whole bunch of feelings are then arising. And so when we start to think about what it means to be grounded, it's about feeling securely attached, which is this beautiful word, securely attached to who we are and where we are in the world. It's often, when we think of groundedness, we often refer back to a tree, because a tree has many roots that allows it to feel safe and secure, and the ability to then move with the winds of change that try to kind of shift it, right? It's flexible enough to move with the winds, but it still remains tethered to the space where it occupies, where its roots ground the tree. So imagine, as humans, we can also be tethered to a place. If you grew up in the same place and your parents, I often talk about this being one of the first generations of my family that do not live in the place where we have lived for many, many generations. So sometimes it can be a place, it can be a family, right? A concept of family. And this time of year, certainly we feel the pull often to that concept. But we can also be tethered within ourselves to a sense of purpose. We can be tethered to a religion. into the ideas and the values that offers us. So we can be tethered, if you will, or grounded to the roots of who we are, kind of can connect us to other people. So the beautiful thing about trees is trees also talk to each other, So there's a beautiful knowledge now of, how trees talk to each other through their root systems and through the systems that they operate, not unlike us, and then even within our own systems of earth itself, of giving us that groundedness. So whether we think of trees when we're talking about groundedness, or we talk about Mother Earth herself, so the earth. And I often will use that as the beginning of these meditations and other meditations as a way of allowing us to feel in our body, to feel the skeleton of our body, to feel our body in the chair that we're sitting in, to feel our feet on the floor, to imagine the earth beneath the floor that we're currently sitting. So as this allows us, what is it? It feels like this secureness, this rootedness that even for that moment allows us to feel like we can give our weight over to the chair, to the ground, to the floor, to the ground. So when we learn as adults to ground ourselves, it's in this sense of knowingness, right? The knowing fields, as some will say, but also in our own sense of knowing. And we become less fragile, if you will, to the shifts and changes that may be happening externally that are often just a part of this human life, including this new transition of the pandemic and all of the things that are happening, even in the polarization of the world, right? These things can be external to us. And they don't have to. We can kind of shift, if you will, right, and move given everything. So we remain flexible, which is, of course, one of the cornerstones of resiliency. But we still feel rooted in our own sense of knowingness. And where does this knowingness come from? It comes from within. I read this quote from Aaron Telford. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but I kind of jotted it down because I think it really spoke to what I wanted to talk about here today, which she writes, "In the midst of all that is difficult right now, I find a pocket of remembering," a word I love so much, "to always turn my heart towards what I want to create, to never lose hope, and to keep believing." I think often it's like turning back to that which we know within, to our own heart space, to our own deep heart space, if you will, that deep heart knowing, that place of knowingness within us, that knows what we wish to create or dream into being, our own sense of purpose, our own sense of hopefulness about the future and of life itself. As well as many other things. And so one of the little hacks that I often teach people, especially with people with anxiety who live in a place of uncertainty where the uncertainty can become overwhelming for them, is what do you know in the midst of such uncertainty? In the midst of the difficulties that may be around you right now, what do you know to be true in this moment? What do you know to be true about you? The simplest of things is turning within and noticing our own breath. I'm breathing. My heart is beating. I'm alive. So as we move through this kind of collection of things that we know to be true, often our anxiety comes down. We feel a little more grounded and settled. And as the mind and the body settle, we can then be more connected to that deeper heart space sense of knowing. That deeper heart space sense of knowing. And so today I want to do a meditation that I've done many times before, but not necessarily in the Sunday morning practice, that I quite love. I think it is a really helpful presentation for us of how to remain grounded regardless of what might be going on around us. So as you move into a holiday season, perhaps, and you're gathering with family and friends, if that is your choice this year, then to, as dynamics start to play out, you can remain grounded in your sense of knowing while all of these things might be happening. And if you're not gathering as you may have normally, it's also being with your own feelings as that turmoil may come up, that unpleasant feelings of allowing yourself the space, recognizing that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. So let us begin. You're invited now to either close your eyes or to gently lower your gaze away, but making sure that the gaze is away from the screen. Finding a strong seated position. What do I mean by that? Feel yourself grounded in the chair or wherever you might be sitting right now. Allow your spine to be tall, but your front body to be relaxed. And beginning to turn your attention from the external world and the room that you're in into your inner world. This beautiful world of discovery. Bringing your attention inward first, just scanning your own body, noticing if any adjustments need to be made to feel more comfortable wherever you're sitting today. If you're sitting in a chair, make sure your feet are on the floor. Grounding yourself yet again. We want to begin by noticing the skeleton of our body, all of our bones connected that create the structure that supports us. The spine in particular, giving us length and structure. Moving outward to all of the other parts of our body that give us substance. Feeling the weight of this body in the chair or wherever you may be sitting. Feeling where your body connects to the chair. Feeling your shoulders relax down, your belly relax. Releasing your jaw, tongue, the bottom of your mouth. Relaxing your eyes. As your body relaxes, your skeleton remains strong. You're feeling the strength of the chair that you're sitting in, allowing you to give over the weight of your body so it can fully support you. Recognizing that this chair and your feet are touching the floor. The solidity of the floor, allowing for the weight of the chair and your body to be supported. And moving down even further, knowing that there is this beautiful earth that is supporting the whole structure of your home or wherever you may be in this moment. Which is fully supporting your being. Start by sitting comfortably. Grounding and centering yourself. making any adjustments before we begin. Connecting to your breath at this moment. Your breath will be an anchor, as it often is. Wherever you notice your breath today, whether that's your nostrils, your chest, your belly, allow that to become the touch point, your anchor point for your attention. If it's your nostrils, perhaps it's feeling the air move in and out, or your chest, maybe the subtle shift of your rib cage, your belly, the rise and the fall. With each inhale and exhale, noticing the subtle changes in your body and how it feels, and allow that to become the anchor point for your attention. So as your mind drifts and thoughts come up, allow it to come back to this. Training your mind to recover, to remain attentive, to focus. Visualize a majestic mountain. It could be one that you've seen before or one that you create with your imagination. Perhaps it's a solo peak or a part of a mountain range. Visualizing it in front of you, I want you to recognize that the mountain changes, of course, like all things do, but the change is very slow. It's in geologic time, spanning centuries and ages. Imagine your body becoming like the mountain, grounded, solid, still. Let the legs, your legs, be the base, your arms and shoulders, the slopes, the spine, the axis, and the head, the peak. Allow yourself to be fully grounded, centered, and present. I want you to imagine now to visualize the seasons begin to change. Like now, imagine it's autumn, surrounded by golden, warm lights and brilliant colors. Gradually, autumn gives way to winter, as it will on Tuesday with our winter solstice, and the mountain is then assaulted by intense and violent weather, fog, snow, ice. See the shift and notice how the mountain remains still, quiet, steady through the storms. Watch as the seasons grow into each other. Moving into spring, the snow melts, the birds sing, and the animals return. Wild flowers sprout and blossom, and the mountain streams overflow with the melting snow. Imagine the life coming back into the mountain. See this mountain in summer bathed in light, quiet, solid, and majestic, except for the highest peaks where the snow is almost gone. In every season, clouds cover the mountain and then blow away. Storms arise suddenly and pass. See the mountain through the course of a day, beginning with the rosy hues of dawn, then the clear light of morning, the deep golden light and shadows of the afternoon, watch as the day gives way to the rich colors of sunset and finally to the dark night sky. The dark night sky filled with stars and galaxies, endless space across the vast, clear heavens. See if you can sit like the mountain, still and grounded through the changes of weather, time, and seasons, allowing day and night to come and to go, accepting change, not resisting it. Take these qualities into your practice, how you move through your day. Allow the weather and seasons of life to come and to go. Feel yourself being present, rooted, centered, still. You are unmoved by the storms, the wind, the cold, the rain, the heat, the moments of darkness and light, joy and sorrow. Allow life to unfold around you while you remain grounded in who you are. Back to your breath, to that anchor point that you had a moment ago. Allowing yourself a few quiet moments of meditation. As thoughts arise, bringing back your attention to your interface, your body, your name, center, and still. May the wise lessons of the mountain help you feel grounded over this holiday season and beyond at any time, recognizing your ability to remain grounded in who you are and what you want to offer the world, even amidst the difficulties and the challenges and the chaos that might be happening around you, reminding yourself to remain centered. And that, like all things, like the storms that come, they will pass. And grounding into your own body, to your own space of knowingness in the deep heart space, knowing who you are, will allow you to move through these experiences perhaps in a different way. I wish you the very best of this season. I will see you in the new year. We are not doing a Sunday morning practice next week on Boxing Day. I'm taking the weekend off to be with my family. I will return on January 2nd and we will continue with our Sunday morning practices. I hope to see you there. Many blessings to you.